Professional violence here. We got another one for you. PFL. I think the championship. It's a pretty stacked card. They're mixing the PFL meta tournament as well, so it's gonna be a card full of fights. Let's start it off at the bottom. We have this is an amateur fight between Hatan El Saif versus Lulia Osmoni. Obviously, this is a setup for Osmoni, El Saif. Not going to even really go into depth about this fight, but she should win. Take her record to 3-0. Expect her to go pro next year. Moving on, we have Castello Vincinas taking on João Vitor Dantes. Now, I was first looking at this fight thinking, why are the odds negative 700 for Stinas? Because Stinas is, although he's experienced, he's pretty good. He's pretty well-rounded. He's a good hybrid fighter. The thing is, he's not like an elite fighter. Like he will lose to like the Douglas Limas, the John Salters, and I just don't think the João Vitor Dantes is at this level that will cause him problems. Like I was watching tape and I'm just thinking to myself, like, sure you're getting finishes, but you got TKO by Lucas Fernando. The guys you're beating, sure. Let's see, this guy's 4-0. 5-4 now. Like he doesn't really have credible wins. Neto, it's 5-2 now. Like, who are these guys? Like, in all respects, I just got to go with Vincinas here. He's more trustworthy, and I've seen a lot more out of him than I have João Vitor Dantes. I'm talking about good quality skill. I'm not just talking about fight time. I've seen some tape on Dantes, and he hasn't looked great from what I've seen. So I'm going to go with Vincinas here. I think he wins this fight by TKO or just a TKO or sub. I'm going to go with that. He'll have options here. Moving on. We have Asel versus Jose Perez. Fun fight. We have Jose Perez, who honestly is pretty good everywhere, especially jiu-jitsu. He showed levels in his last fight with Jesse Stern. Showed him he just couldn't hang on the floor. With Stern was getting overwhelmed with the cardio of Perez. He has good wins. He beat Paul Capaldo, Chris Vasil. He hasn't really had that one great win, but he still looked pretty good in his fights. Opposed, we have Asel Ajuj, who has honestly looked great in his last few fights. His last fight especially. Man, like, I can't get over how technical and how well-rounded he looked in his recent performance. He's shown a lot of promise. He's can get up. He hasn't had a really rough time since 2020. He's been kind of on a big winning streak since 2020. So, yeah, I gotta go with Asel Ajuj. He's riding momentum. If he gets taken down, we could see some fraud check. We could see a fraud check, but I just think Asel Ajuj is polished everywhere. His takedown defense is very good. His get-ups are good. Yeah, I'm going to go with Asel Ajuj here. But, yeah, it's a close fight. Wouldn't go advise betting it because it's a show-me spot for both guys to see where they're at levels-wise. Moving on, we have Jesus Pinedo taking on Jeremy Kennedy. Jeremy Kennedy, honestly, he has the grappling to get this done, but I don't know if he's going to be able to, deal with Jesus on the feet. I think Jesus on the feet is going to be way too much for Jeremy to deal with. I think Jesus is going to either KO Kennedy or just hurt him, and potentially if he had hurt him and have bigger moments to win the fight. It's a closer fight than the odds are making it seem. I would put Pinedo at like 1.5, 1.6. I don't think his grappling is at the level of Kennedy. I think Kennedy is training with really good guys in Vegas. Andy Varela, Pachi Mix. Like, he's got really good training partners. I think Jesus Pinedo, if he can't get him out there on the feet, I think this fight could get very, very close, very, very sticky. So the values on Kennedy, I would play Kennedy decision. Would probably be the way to go because I don't see him submitting Pinedo. If he does, I just feel like he's going to have a lot of control time. But Money line's also a good option just to keep safe. But I'm always thinking what's the most fun option, and a submission would probably, or decision would probably be not the most fun, but like the highest reward for. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's just the decision props the plus 300 or like plus 200, but. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with this fight as far as props goes. I lean Pinedo. I think the odds are a bit wide, but I lean Pinedo here. I lean him to win by TKO. Moving on, we have Slim Travelle versus Abraham Babley. So we have Travelle, who honestly didn't look very good in his last performance. This guy has shown he can grapple. His striking is very suspect. Like Louis Sutherland arguably won that fight. Well, he could have won that fight if he just stuffed the takedowns. Travelle doesn't have really any striking. He's got a few good wins. Franklin won one by injury. I think Babley's just going to be too well-rounded. He trains at a good gym, good game planning gym. He doesn't really have any good wins either, though, so that's something I gotta watch out for. I think Babley's wins, but I don't think it's an exciting fight. I think it's a very, very close fight that goes to the decision. I feel like this is a split decision fight. I could be wrong about this, but I think Babley's the better fighter. I could be wrong, but I think Travelle's got better grappling, but Babley's got better all-around game for MMA. It's one of those fights, though, guys. Heavyweight MMA, you don't want to be too confident on either side when it's a close fight. So, I've learned my lesson. I'm just gonna watch this fight. Wouldn't advise betting it. It's too close to call. Moving on, we have Mansour, so I lean Babley though, as an underdog. Mansour Benoit versus Alfie Davis. Alfie Davis, he is a good fighter. I have nothing bad to say about Alfie Davis. The problem with Alfie Davis is he's fighting Mansour Benoit, and stylistically this is a very hard fight. I think if Davis can implore that takedown defense, he can make this an easy night. But I don't know. I think Benoit is sticky and knows how to find his way to dominant positions on the ground. He has really good experience, elite grappling, and I think Davis is going to be overwhelmed by the grappling of Benoit. I think Benoit can win this fight by submission. He struggled with Brent Primus, J.J. Wilson, but I think he can. I think Alfie can be beaten. If you look at his career, he hasn't really faced that great of wrestlers, and Owensworth was causing him a lot of trouble in the grappling aspect, and Benoit is much better than Owensworth as far as grappling goes. So I'm going to go with Benoit winning this fight, but I wouldn't be shocked to somehow see Davis pull this one off. This is a good fight for both guys to show out. So we'll see how. We'll see if either of them can live up to their potential and win this fight. I lean Benoit, though. Moving on, we have Abdullah Al-Katani taking on Abdel Raham Al-Hayasset. I'm going to go with Al-Hayasset. I think Al-Hayasset is just the technically better fighter. Sure, Katani is going to look for control. His throws, but he has a unanimous decision win over him for a reason. Yes, it was a semi-close fight, but I think Al-Hayasset won clearly. I think he's a better fighter. At underdog odds, I loved him as a play, but when the odds are this close, it's just a pass spot. I think he's also the favorite, so pass spot for me. Honestly, Katani could do enough to win a decision in this rematch. I would probably think that Al-Hayasset will win this fight and win the title. It is a close fight, so don't go crazy thinking just because he won the last one he should win this one too. I think he does win, but that's not the whole reason why I'm picking him to win again. I just think he's the more complete fighter, and I think he'll be able to defend takedowns and land bombs. We'll see how the 5 rounds factors in. I think they already faced 5 rounds. I could be wrong though. Let me see that. Might have been. I don't know. All I know is this is going to be a good rematch. Yeah. Moving on. We have Mohsen Mohammad Sefi versus Georges Aid. Georges Aid is definitely on the sauce. I'm going to say he definitely can win this fight if it gets extended, as Mohsen gets very tired. Mohsen's an Olympic level, I think, wrestler out of Iran. He is absolutely dangerous on the feet, brutal KO power. But honestly, like he almost got finished by Tahiri, and other than a few good wins with Forster, like I'm not really that big of a fan of this guy. He's got KO power, but he's lost to Rongzhu. Like he has the path to victory is there. If you can defend takedowns and make him pay on the feet, like that's basically all you gotta do. And Georges Aid has shown in his recent fights that he can do that. He won his last fight by KO. Abbas Khan. I guess both these guys aren't at the level of Mohammad, so for that reason, I'm going to lean. This is tricky. I think Eid can win this, just because he's on roids. But honestly, this is a close fight. Like I lean Eid as an underdog, but this is a close fight. I wouldn't play this fight very much, if at all. This is a live betting spot for me. We'll see how this one plays out. Moving on, we have Ali Taleb taking on Rashed Haz. So Rashed Haz is he fights out of Spain. He has some decent wins. Beat Boudezem. He beat Aloui. He's shown that he has some decent ability. He lost to Malambo. So he does lose to the better guys. He got KO'd by Jordan Vachenik, which is not a great look. He's pretty experienced. He lost to Yanis Gamori, which is a very bad loss in hindsight, because man, he is horrible. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Ali Taleb. Ali Taleb is again nothing special, but he is the A side here. He's got the KO power. He may not have the volume, which could lose him this fight, but I think he's got the submission threat of the guillotine and his knockout power. I think he can win this fight. I'm gonna go Ali Taleb as a slight lean. I wouldn't go crazy with this fight. Kind of the odds are a little wild. I think Haz has a better chance than what the odds are making it seem. We'll see though. Honestly, another fight I have no interest in betting. I don't like value betting for the sake of value betting. If I like the person to win, then I will. But honestly, I think the company knows what they're doing here, and I think they're setting to leave up with another win. I know it's not the company choosing this; it's the tournament style. But a lot of the guys in the tournament are going to lose to Taleb. That's just how it is. They're not at his level, in my opinion. We'll see though. Maybe Taleb gets fraud checked again. Moving on. We have Mohammad Alcar versus Omar El Dafrari. So Omar is a very, very dangerous human, coming off of a KO win, upset over Salawi, who hasn't KO'd Salawi though at this point, and he almost KO'd that Zayden guy, who is absolutely horrible. I think Dafrari is actually pretty decent. He's not like an elite fighter or anything, so for that reason, I will not be betting this fight. But plus 200, plus 300 is a bit ridiculous on Dafrari. He should be, I don't know, plus 150, plus 200 at most. I just think Alcar is very, very soft on the feet. I think if Alcar cannot get his grappling game going, I know he's trains with Habib. He's undefeated. He's got all the hype, but he hasn't shown me enough. Like he should have finished Fazli. He finished Ubas. Good for you. And I know he's already beaten Dafrari before, but Man, I don't know. I'm gonna go Alcar because he's already won before, and he's got the grappling advantage, and it's he probably is also on the sauce. I'm just going off of what I think. I'm not. There's no facts behind this. There's only a few that are definitely on the sauce that I know. But anyways, Alcar is definitely gonna probably gonna win this fight if he doesn't get KO'd. Yeah. Good fight though. I'm really excited to see how this one plays out. DeFari's, like I said, been on a little bit of a streak, and yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Moving on, we have Oleg Popov versus Denis Goldov. So the problem with this fight for me is playing moneyline or just TKO, because honestly Goldov is a tricky one, because if this fight goes to decision, he's shown in the past that he can get taken down and he struggles to get back up, like with Big Swarm, and he's had previous opponents who just KO'd him. I think Popov is no threat to him on the feet. For that reason, the KO prop is super live, plus 300, 5 rounds. I think Goldov, if he gets it done, it's in the first few rounds, but I don't know. This is a fight where I have no interest on the money line, but the props could get interesting. So take that into account. Look at the props and decide from there what you guys like. Just checking if they've added any props. Nope. Denis Goldov, I lean him to win this one. I think Popov is very overrated. His wrestling and control is good. His crucifix position, he can get some good ground and pound off from there. But other than that, he's pretty one-dimensional, and I can't get behind betting him or telling people to pick him. Opposed to Goldov's a pretty good hybrid. He's pretty experienced, very, very dangerous. Good ground and pound, some good submissions. I gotta go with Goldov here. He's seen it all. I think he should be able to beat Popov here, but you never know. It's a close fight. Moving on, we have Brent Primus versus Gadzi Rabidanov. So I don't know why a lot of people have been on Brent Primus this week. I get it. He's not a bad fighter. He's actually really good. Good jiu-jitsu, some decent hands, strong as an ox, full of that Jesus juice. Has some good wins. The problem with Brent Primus is he's fighting a hybrid who is better and younger than him. I think Gadzi has beats, really good guys. I think beating D4 like that was a statement win. I think he beat Alvin Espinoza pretty soundly. Solomon Renfro. I know Primus beat him better, but I still think that's a good win. Honestly, like Koji Takeda, Bobby King, he has some good wins. He's a bit fraudulent, I'm not going to lie, but I don't think Primus will be the one to expose that. Maybe so. Maybe this is the year that Primus just shocks the world and wins as a huge dog every time, but I don't know. I don't see it. How old is Primus? He's like, what, close to 40 years old? 39 years old. Like, I just don't think he's going to be in his prime. Like, I don't think he's going to have a path to victory in this fight. I think Gadzi's going to be better than him everywhere. So I got to go with Gadzi here. I'm pretty confident. I don't think it's a win, but I think he wins this fight. So tread carefully with this one as far as playing him too heavy. But, yeah, I got Gadzi here. Moving on. We have Shamil Musayev versus Magomed Umalatov. Another fight where its odds are a little off. Like, this is a 50-50 fight. We have Shamil Musayev, who's an absolute demon on the feet, very, very dangerous KO power, good takedown defense. I can understand why people think he's going to win, but he hasn't. Has he faced another hybrid like himself? Even though he's not really a hybrid, he's more so just a striker. He's faced Murad Ramazanov twice, and Ramazanov was winning because he was getting tired, and this is a 5-round fight. I can see Umalatov drowning him over 5 rounds. I gotta go with Umalatov just because of it. Yeah, sure, he's looked good, like with those knockouts and stuff, but if he can't knock out Umalatov's gonna be right in his face pressing him, and I think Umalatov can find a submission, find a TKO ground and pound. I'm going to go with Umlatov. I just feel like he has more paths to victory. And I think the odds are absolutely wild. Plus 200 on Umlatov is just crazy to me. I don't see how that's anyway okay. I know Shamil is pretty hyped after beating Murad and all the other performances, but I just think Shamil has not been tested. He looked gassed after 3 rounds. I imagine what he's going to be after 5. If he doesn't get a KO, I think this is going to be a pretty linear fight for Umlatov. We'll see, though. I'm taking him at dog odds. I don't know if I'm going to bet it yet, but that's my prediction. Moving on. We have Davlet Yagshimuradov versus Impa Kasangine. Another super close fight. This card's really good as far as watching goes. Like, there's going to be a lot of really good fights. I think this is one of them. Davlet is very, very good. He's improved a tremendous amount. He's not the same fighter he once was. But the problem with Davlet is he has good wins.
Exactly
Rob Wilkinson, Inglikas, Nadeau, Rozansky. Like, he has some decent wins. But the problem with him is like his grappling. And I don't think Impa will offensively grapple, but I don't know. He could out-physical Davlet, push him against the cage, have more control time on the cage. This could be a very boring fight, or it could be an action-packed fight. I don't know if Impa ever fights boring, so I think this should be a good fight. I think Impa's going to bring it. I think someone's going to get KO'd. I would not be shocked to see Davlet KO Impa. Impa's chin is not bad. It's just not great because he's smaller for the weight class, so it's like he's always at a deficiency fighting as far as not power, but like durability. I don't even know how to say durability because he is tough. It's just like he can't take shots the same way they can take his shots. Unless you're Nadeau. Nadeau's he's pretty chinny. I don't think Davlet's chinny though, so definitely gonna be a good fight. I lean Impa. I think so. Let me check. Yeah, I lean Impa, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Yagshimuradov get it done. Very, very close fight. Yeah, moving on. We have Dakota Ditcheva taking on Talia Santos. The fight everyone's excited for, the people's main event. Talia Santos is plus 280. Should be plus 150, plus 160, in my opinion. Dakota Ditcheva on the feet is a lot better than Talia Santos. But the problem is, if she gets taken down, it is going to be a very, very rough night for her. I know she has good get-up games against straight grapplers, but Talia knows how to mix in the takedowns with the strikes, and I think she'll be able to confuse Dakota over the course of the 5 rounds if the fight gets extended. I predict Dakota to win by first round TKO and shocking the world, but I would not be surprised. I have my live betting button ready for this fight to get extended, and I will be betting Talia Santos if I notice fatigue or her striking game is not going her way. So definitely a live betting spot here. I wouldn't bet it because Dakota's very, very dangerous, especially early. So gonna go Dakota Ditcheva round 1, but it's a very, very close fight, and I would never put her at negative 300 in a fight where she hasn't beat anyone at the level of Talia Santos. So we'll see how this fight plays out. I got Dakota in this one, but we'll see. Yeah, moving on. We have Brendan Lotnane taking on Timur Kazriev. Kazriev is he's an undefeated hybrid who very athletic on all the supplements. Went to a split with Bradley that he arguably lost, that he should have lost. I think, yeah, like I gotta go with Lotnane, just because I don't like Kazriev's. I don't like his, like, when he can't get his grappling game going. He's not, like, he's pretty good on the feet, but I just think Lotnane's the levels above on the feet. I gotta go with Lotnane here. I just feel like he's seen it all, and I think he wins this one. I'm not betting it just because it's a hard to fade a 17-0 fighter like Kazriev, but I gotta go with Lotnane here. The split decision to Braga is also not a good look. I think Lotnane has way better takedown defense than Braga, so we'll see. Not way better, but pretty good, I'd say. But yeah, I gotta go with Lotnane here. Gonna be a controversial pick, but I gotta go with Lotnane here. If I can give you guys my top 5 most confident picks, including the amateur fight. So obviously the amateur fight would be my number 1, but my real number 1, not including the amateur fight, would be Gadzi Rabanonov. Number 2 would be Marcel Vanstinas. Number 3 would be Ali Taleb. Number 4 would be Barnui. Number 5 would be Pinedo. Alrighty guys, like, subscribe, you know the drill. I'll catch you next time. Peace.